Hello, Bruce. Thank you for joining Energy Live News. I would like to start asking you about the economic impact that this coronavirus will have on your business, because we have already read a report coming from the Horticultural Association that was claiming that about 1.4 billion pounds could be wiped out because of this situation, because of this coronavirus pandemic. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's quite clear that every industry is suffering at the moment, and every single industry, I guess, will be fighting their own corner. I'm not going to plead that we are any different from this, but the unique nature of our industry and business is that we deal in such a short period of the time. Our peak weeks are exactly when the coronavirus pandemic hit the UK. We were just about ready to send millions of plants out the door. They've all been here, just behind me. You can see just some of them. We've paid for them. We've put an incredible amount of labor. We have up to 100 people on our nursery at any one time. So we paid for them. All the inputs have gone into them. We were just ready to send them out the door. And then, of course, it came crashing down around our ears with so many customers, of course, with the lockdown in particular, not being able to take their orders. And it isn't just a case that we can just shut the glasshouse door, turn off the lights and come back to it when this is all over, because this won't be here. We can't continue to produce the next batch of crops. So we have to make some serious decisions about what we do from here, not only what we do with the plants that potentially could be sold if we're in the most optimistic frame of mind. So yeah, it is a slightly unique situation with us being in the fresh produce, perishable products, but not in so much as fruit and vegetables, although we do a little bit of herbs, culinary herbs and vegetables. So it's, I don't know of any other industries like us.
Speaking with numbers and being more specific, what about your production? I mean, you were in full capacity by the end of February, right? And how many millions and how much growth do you expect that it will be beamed, it will be destroyed by this situation?
It's hard to tell at the moment. We produce about 12 million plants every year. Being such a seasonal business, to cater for the needs of the normal gardener and consumer, that obviously people are desperate to get out into their gardens just now and in the coming months. 75% of all of that business is in these 3 months of the year, from March, April and May. So it couldn't have come, as I say, at a worse time. If you want to try and put some numbers on it, well, we've cancelled in the last 2 weeks in the region of about 500,000 to 600,000 plants. And it's likely that that could double. I think it's very difficult to tell at this particular point, but that's probably equates to over £500,000 worth of product which has been cancelled. And there's of course a lot of customers which are deciding on what they do with their own situations, how they work, whether they have staff force to be able to do the work, what they do for the future, because of course they're backed up. It was a terrible February, the worst February on record in terms of the rain. So the coronavirus only compounded that problem, that they were already full at the start of March, and now are making decisions, very difficult decisions, on what to do going forward. We've got a lot of brilliant customers and they're trying to work with us, and we really appreciate that. But we are kind of at the front of this, where some are de-risking their own situations, able to furlough staff, or in the instance of the garden centres and retail outlets, they are having to do so because they literally can't open. So they've just gotten down to usually skeleton staff to look after what product they have on the benches as far as possible.
Right now, at the moment that we are talking, how many plants do you have on the floor behind you?
We've got, in all of our 4 hectares of glass houses, we've got around about 7 million plants on the floor right now. And it's difficult to say. It depends on how long this goes on, this whole nightmare, as to how many of those we will have to throw in the bin. You know, there's been talk about, can we not give them away? Well, it's very difficult on this sort of scale to be giving away lots of plants. There are some amazing companies, and we're also thinking about acting within our local community when safe to do so, that we can try to get some plants to the people. But of course, we're also aware that we don't want to spoil that situation when the garden centre doors do eventually open. We don't want to stop people from actually going to the garden centres. We're in a very, very difficult position.
What do you think about the measures that the British government has already taken in order to support the businesses? Are in the right direction?
For sure, we need assistance. As I said in previous communications, we need a lot of help in this industry, because if the government don't help, we will see the collapse of many hundreds of businesses, if not thousands of businesses, depending on how long this goes on. Because as I say, it's not possible just to literally put down and start again. We can't just shut the glasshouse door, switch off the lights, and then come back to a situation when hopefully business is booming again. We just can't do that. We can't hold all these plants for that long. We can't prepare for the future. We can't make the next batches of product because we are full. So we're making very, very difficult decisions all the time. I've heard and read some reports where the Horticultural Trades Association is looking for something in the region of 250 million as a scrappage scheme, compensation scheme. When I read that figure, I have a slight concern it may not actually be enough, because if I look at just my own situation and then I scale that up on the magnitude of many hundreds of retail garden centres, the growers in between us, small and large, I think it's got to be larger than that. So I think we need a bailout package of at least that, if not more, in order to save this industry. For sure, it will look differently. Whatever happens, it will look different when we come out of this.
Bruce, thank you very, very much.